Yo.
Welcome to Book and Brain Club. Our third video, a surprise stream, where we are going to read something a little tiny bit unsettling for the evening.
Ooh, a tiny bit unsettling. Okay.
Yes, a tiny bit unsettling. This selection is called The Parasite by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It is very similar to The Turn of the Screw, which inspired The Haunting of the House on the Hill. I might just be saying a bunch of things that mean nothing to you, but...
Pretty much. More or less, yes.
The point being that it is very much like Old English, Grey Britain. So this author, he also wrote...
Whoops, sorry.
He also wrote The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So if that gives you an idea of the writing style, although I would say this... it is pretty similar. The main character... he is definitely very analytical, like Sherlock is. However, he is engaged. Like, we know he has a fiance. We know he also is, like, very emotionally driven, whereas, like, people argued that Sherlock Holmes was unfeeling. This is different. Okay, I got the link.
Okay.
But yeah, very similar. I had to look up before tonight, why? Why was the author knighted? How come he is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle?
You might want to say his name correctly.
Doyle, yeah, has some respect. He is dead, so I don't think he's gonna... Unless he wants to haunt me.
Rolling over in his grave. He was knighted, but I'm gonna say his name. Yeah.
Alright, let's add this link, huh?
Yeah, there we go.
How do I... Okay, here we go. Paste. Done. Come watch us read live.
Is it The Parasite? Yeah, The Parasite.
It is The Parasite.
Parasite. Sir Arthur
Conan Doyle.
Okay, so...
See, I wasn't even trying to mess it up that time.
I think we were, actually.
The reason why I love this book, personally, is because... One, the way he writes makes me feel like super fancy and pretentious and knowledgeable while I'm reading it. I don't know. It's like one of those things where you're like, okay, it's very British in that you think you should be drinking a cup of tea as you read it. That kind of vibe. I also like that it's just like a short story. It's very digestible. And that the topic that it's about, which I won't spoil, is something that still is like mysterious and intriguing. It's something that science hasn't quite explained.
Okay.
Even to this day. And whether or not it's real, I don't know. That's like on the same level to be debated as like ghosts and UFOs and stuff. It is a little conspiracy theory vibe-esque. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah.
I got you. Dude, how did you put the link on your story? That's what I'm like trying to find.
Okay.
I literally copied and pasted. Like...
So pull up your, yeah. Hey, look at that. It's Brady's mom. My mother-in-law just checked it out. I don't know if she's on or not, but what's good? Poor woman never sleeps. So you pull up your story, and then under like the smiley face tab, there's like a thing for the link right here. You just copy and paste from there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
And now stuff about stuff.
Things about some things. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, quite. Shall we read The Parasite by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle? Yes.
Yes, we shall. All right, let me pull it up on here so you folks at home can see what this is about and see if I myself or Jake mess up the words, which we will, inevitably. There's some very fancy words in here. Oh, wow.
You know what? Honestly, I don't think I'm going to mess up any of them.
Dude, if you don't mess up one,
I think I'm perfect. I'm gonna be
I'll just
really
dump
perfect.
this popcorn over my head and then I'll still eat it.
Off the floor.
Yes.
Actually, I'll vacuum it up and still eat it.
Out of the vacuum? Ew.
Ugh, God, that sounds
I don't like it.
Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna go onto the website.
Sounds real.
There you go. Website. Alright, preview. Alright, I got it pulled up on my phone now. So, did you want me to read first, or did you?
No, you can take it away.
I'm gonna just read until whenever?
Read until the 10:30 p.m.
Okay, gotcha. The Parasite. March 24th. The spring is fairly with us now. Outside my laboratory window, the great chestnut tree is all covered. I said I wasn't going to screw up. I already did. The great chestnut tree is all covered with the big, gluttonous, gummy buds, some of which have already begun to break into little green shuttlecocks. As you walk down the lanes, you are conscious of the rich, silent forces of nature working all around you. The wet earth smells fruitful and luscious. Green shoots are peeping out everywhere. The twigs are stiff with their sap, and the moist, heavy English air is laden with a faintly resinous perfume. Buds in the hedges, lambs beneath them, everywhere the work of reproduction going forward. I can see it without, and I can feel it within. We also have our spring when the little arterioles dilate. The lymph flows in a brisker stream. The glands work harder, winnowing and straining. Every year, nature readjusts the whole machine.
This whole intro just might as well be the song Twitter pated from Bambi. You might as well just play that and then get into it.
Was it? I don't think Twitter pated was a song, was it? I think
Was
it
that
was
just... I just missed that reference on you?
Yeah, I don't
Dang.
think it was a song. I think it was just like the describing the bunnies getting like all.
Horny.
I don't remember it being a
yeah.
song though.
I mean, it's just spring is here. Everybody's pairing off.
But dude, they released Bambi the same time this book came out. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Where was I?
Sorry.
I can feel the ferment in my blood at this very moment, and as the cool sunshine pours through my window, I can dance about it like a gnat. So I should. Only that Charles Sadler would rush upstairs to know what was the matter. Besides, I must remember that I am Professor Gilroy. God forbid he forgets himself. And an old professor may afford to be natural. But when fortune has given one of the first chairs in the university to a man of 43, he must try and act the part consistently. What a fellow Wilson is.
No, he's not. He's not 43. He's 34. I don't know that will make a difference. But...
Oh no, it does say to a man of 4 and 30. There we go.
Yeah, it's just.
Golly. All right, 4 and 30. He must try and act the part. So, 34. God, why do you have to say things so weird? Just say 34.
No.
This guy's pretentious already.
I know, and you must allow him to be. Professor Gilroy can be nothing else.
I am 3 and 30 years old.
After all, he must act according to his career.
Indeed.
Else he will be thrown about on the street.
God willing. Say I forget myself or my age. What a fellow Wilson is. If I could only throw the same enthusiasm into physiology that he does into psychology, I could become a Claude Bernard at the least. His whole life and soul and energy works to one end. What? Is everything okay?
Yeah, I don't know who Claude Bernard is. That's a lost one on me as well. I guess he's some kind of legend in academics.
Physiology, actually.
I'll look that up when you keep reading.
His whole life and soul and energy works to one end. He drops to sleep, collating his results of the past day, and he wakes to plan his researches for the coming one. And yet, outside the narrow circle who follow his proceedings, he gets so little credit for it. Physiology is a recognized science. If I add even a brick to the edifice, everyone sees and applauds it. But Wilson is trying to dig the foundation for a science of the future, or dig the foundations for a science of the future. His work is underground and does not show. Yet he goes on, uncomplainingly, corresponding with 100 semi-maniacs in the hope of finding one reliable witness, sifting 100 lies on the chance of gaining one little speck of truth, collating old books, devouring new ones, experimenting, lecturing, trying to light up in others the fiery interest which is consuming him. You're going to want to scroll down on the page, dude.
Thank you. I was just looking up. Apparently, he he had groundbreaking work on the role of the pancreas in digestion.
I have no clue where my pancreas is or what it does, but God bless him. It must have been groundbreaking for... Alright. I am filled with wonder and admiration when I think of him. And yet, when he asks me to associate myself with his researches, I am compelled to tell him that in their present state, they offer little attraction to a man who is devoted to exact science.
Your shit sucks.
If he could show me something positive and objective, I might then be tempted to approach the question from its physiological side. So long as half his subjects are tainted with charlatanry and the other half with hysteria, we physiologists must content ourselves with the body and leave the mind to our descendants. No doubt I am a materialist. Agatha says that I am a rank 1. I tell her that is an excellent reason for shortening our engagement, since I am such urgent need of her spirituality. And yet, I may claim to be a curious example of the effect of education upon temperament, for by nature I am, unless I deceive myself, a highly psychic man. I was a nervous, sensitive boy, a dreamer, a somnambulist, full of impressions and intuitions. My black hair, my dark eyes, my thin olive face, my tapering fingers are all characteristic of my real temperament. It caused experts like Wilson to claim me as their own. My brain is soaked with exact knowledge. I have trained myself to deal only with fact and with proof. Surmise and fancy have no place in my scheme of thought.
No.
No. Show me what I can see with my microscope. Cut it with my scalpel. Weigh it in my balance, and I will devote a lifetime to its investigation. But when you ask me to study feelings, impressions, suggestions, you ask me to do what is distasteful and even demoralizing. A departure from pure reason affects me like an evil smell or a musical discord.
Like, what would you say? What would you say is distasteful and even demoralizing? Just off the top of your head.
Wait, for myself?
Yeah.
Ooh, distasteful and demoralizing.
For me, flip-flops.
Shit. Like asking you to like watch somebody wearing flip-flops?
Yes, it affects me like an evil smell or musical discord.
Oh, okay, I see.
What about you?
Flip-flops, huh?
Flip-flops.
Honestly, at this point, doing the dishes.
Yeah, but that's reasonable. It's just like normal.
Anything just that has to do with that. Like I don't even like wearing gloves because I feel like my hands still get like pruny and okay. Yeah. A departure from pure reason affects me like an evil smell or a musical discord, which is a very sufficient reason why I'm a little loth to go to Professor Wilson's to night. Still, I feel that I could hardly get out of the invitation without positive rudeness. Now that Miss Marden and Agatha are going, of course I would not if I could. But I had rather meet them anywhere else. I know that Wilson would draw me into this nebulous semi-science of his if he could. In his enthusiasm, he is perfectly impervious to hints or remonstrances. Nothing short of a positive quarrel would make him realize my aversion to the whole business. I have no doubt that he has some new mesmerist, or clairvoyant, or medium, or trickster of some sort, whom he is going to exhibit to us, for even his entertainments bear upon his hobby. Well, it will be a treat for Agatha, at any rate. Yeah, you're gonna have to. Do you have to scroll down? Wait, are we on the right page? Oh yeah. No, we're okay. Cool.
Okay.
I was just making sure. She's interested in it. Oh, here we go. Well, it may be a treat for Agatha at any rate. She is interested in it, as woman usually is in whatever is vague and mystical and indefinite.
All right.
I'm surprised it says she is interested in it as woman usually is. Like, shouldn't it be as women usually are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, you're right. As a woman usually is, and like there's something missing there.
Something's missing there. Yeah.
Something.
All right, your knighthood has been
hand
removed, Sir Arthur.
You have been canceled.
Figure out grammar.
All right, buddy.
Cool.
It's okay. We'll still keep going.
All right, go ahead.
10:50 p.m. This diary keeping of mine is, I fancy, the outcome of that scientific habit of mind about which I wrote this morning. I like to register impressions while they are fresh. Once a day at least, I endeavor to define my own mental position. It is a useful piece of self-analysis and has, I fancy, a steadying effect upon the character. Frankly, I must confess that my own needs what stiffening I can give it. I didn't want to be the willy-nilly man that I am. The nature of man. I fear that after all... Wait, what? Okay. I fear that after all, much of my neurotic temperament survives, and that I am far from that cool, calm precision which characterizes Murdoch or Pratt Haldane. Again, I don't know, maybe they know what the liver does, who knows?
Yeah, they figured out the little spot between your elbow and your...
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
Murdoch is like the Daredevil, right? That name?
Murdoch's a daredevil?
Yeah, the Daredevil. Matthew Murdoch?
Yeah, Murdoch.
I wonder what that's like.
Actually, so...
if maybe he knew something to do with the eyes and that was like a call to it.
That guy that plays him is the voice of Gustav in Expedition 33.
What?
Yeah, so the guy that plays Daredevil.
That's so sick. Okay, now I'm going to be able to play
Gustav. Yes, it makes you a little excited to play it more tonight.
Yeah, like, can I?
The game is phenomenal so far. Anyway, that's not what this stream's about.
But still.
Still.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Okay. Otherwise, why should the tomfoolery which I have witnessed this evening set my nerves thrilling, so that even now I am all unstrung? My only comfort is that neither Wilson, nor Miss Penalosa, nor even Agatha could have possibly known my weakness. And what in the world was there to excite me? Nothing, or so little that it will seem ludicrous when I set it down. All right. What'd you see, boy? What'd you witness? The Mardens got to Wilson's before me. In fact, I was one of the last to arrive and found the room crowded. I'd hardly time to say a word to Mrs. Marden and to Agatha, who was looking charming in white and pink, with glittering wheat ears and hair, when Wilson came twitching at my sleeve. "You want something positive, Gilroy," said he, drawing me apart into a corner. "My dear fellow, I have a phenomenon. A phenomenon." I should have been more impressed had I not heard the same before. His sanguine spirit turns every firefly into a star. No possible question about the bona fides this time, said he.
I kind of like that. Like he could sell ice to a Eskimo type thing. Like
Yeah.
a firefly into a star. I like that.
He's like so easily just
lit up.
Yeah.
Salesman.
It's kind of charming. An answer perhaps to some little gleam of amusement in my eyes. Mm-hmm. My wife has known her for many years. They both come from Trinidad, you know. Miss Pelalosa has only been in England a month or two and knows no one outside the university circle, but I assure you that the things she has told us suffice in themselves to establish clairvoyance upon an absolutely scientific basis. There's nothing like her, amateur or professional. Come and be introduced. I like none of these mystery mongers, but the amateur least of all. With the paid performer, you may pounce upon him and expose him the instant that you have seen through his trick. He's there to deceive you, and you are there to find him out. God forbid anybody entertains anyone.
Yeah, or has fun.
Right? Yeah. But what are you to do with the friend of your host's wife? Are you to turn on a light suddenly and expose her slapping a surreptitious banjo? Or, I don't know, he said, ha-ha!
Oh,
Bing, 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 bing,
bing. She looks up. No!
No, please!
Oh, God! Not this!
Anything but the banjo! Or are you to hurl cochineal over her evening frock while she steals round with her phosphorus bottle and her supernatural platitude? There would be a scene, and you would be looked upon as a brute. So, you have your choice of being that or a dupe. And I was in no very good humor as I followed Wilson to the lady. He didn't want to be a dupe.
Yeah, who does? Here lies Mr. Snyder. A dupe if there ever was one. Nobody wants that.
A legend. And that will go on your grave.
It will.
Unless you expose every phony.
Yeah, right. Every banjo slapping phony.
Anyone less like my idea of a West Indian could not be imagined. Super racist out of nowhere, but okay.
A little bit,
I mean, there's like this time period. It's like if you don't have a little bit of racism in your writing, like, are you even writing? You know?
Yeah, sadly.
The Call of the Cthulhu.
I think. Hold on. I think Adley's crying, dude. I think I hear him crying.
Okay, let's get him on the stream for a second.
Get him on the stream?
Yeah. Let's see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely crying. Oh, poor guy. Oh yeah, it is super windy, huh?
It's windy and it's too dark and you were scared of the beast still.
Yeah, it's okay, Bubba.
Oh, come here.
It's okay. Do you want to say hi to the good people? Say hi? Look, you're going to be on camera, bud. Yeah, you're gonna be on camera. There you go.
Love me. I got you. I got you.
Everything's okay. Do you want me to read? You gonna help him relax?
That sounds good. He loves when you read.
Okay. Hi. She was a small, frail creature, well over 40. I should say, with a pale, peaky face and hair of a very light shade of chestnut. Her presence was insignificant and her manner retiring. In any group of 10 women, she would have been the last whom one would have picked out. Her eyes were perhaps her most remarkable and also, I'm compelled to say, her least pleasant feature. They were gray in color, gray with a shade of green, and their expression struck me as being decidedly furtive. I wonder if furtive is the word. Should I have said fierce? On second thoughts, feline would have expressed it better. A crutch leaning against the wall told me...
All better? All better?
All better,
That
bud?
was so fast.
Good, I'm glad you're all better, bud. What was painfully evident when she rose, that one of her legs was crippled. Page 12. Page 12.
Thank you.
Right there. Alright, here we go. Laying back down.
Okay, come here. Come here.
Good night, bud.
Let's go. I'll turn on the light for you so it won't be as scary in the wind. Bandit, don't even think about it.
Good night, bud.
No baby boys in here at all.
Nope.
Okay, ready? Gotta say goodbye to the camera. Can you say bye-bye? Okay. Good night.
Alright, good job.
Can you give a kiss?
Alright, I'll wait for it. Get back. Keep reading. Yeah.
Give your thoughts so far.
Yeah, well, so Michaela loves this book. Pretty big fan, actually, of this book. She's read it, I would say, a few times to her friends. I've only heard her reading like bits and pieces of it, maybe up to the point that we've read to so far. I don't really know what the book is about. From what I can guess so far, I mean, like, since it's about psychology, like it's about something psychology related. And based on the fact that like 100 lies or whatever, I'm going to say something maybe along the lines of like hypnotherapy or I really don't know. It's definitely like the voice that's coming across is a pretentious old English person, but I don't know. Yeah. Very intrigued. Oh man, what is this? Oh, I don't know. There's this thing that keeps popping up on the computer that says like it can't. I don't know. It can't run some app that's running on my computer, and I don't know.
I was worried it wasn't recording.
No, it's definitely still recording.
All right, sorry about that, folks.
Yep, but you got to. They got to meet Adley there for a moment, which is.
What can you do? Can't leave the little boy scared in the dark by himself.
Yeah, hopefully does he seem like he's doing a little better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It is super
He was saying
windy
all
here,
better
dude.
as I laid him down and everything.
It's like 30, I don't know, it seems like 20 to 30 miles an hour, like sustained tonight. It doesn't look like it's taking a break at all. I bet if I opened the window and put the mic up to the window, it'd be
Now the people have come for the book.
Don't come for the book, not for the wind. They can get that themselves.
I said, am I really listening to a stream right now where they're talking about the weather?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What was my life
Yeah,
come to?
that's my go-to move in the club. Just talk about the weather. All right.
All right, where you at?
Let's
take
see.
back over.
I was at
Something about her feline eyes and that she was crippled.
Yeah, my phone got like scrolled. It was
Page 12.
yeah, page 12. Okay, so a crutch leaning against the wall told me what was painfully evident when she rose, that one of her legs was crippled. There you go. Now you can take over if you want.
Thank you. So I was introduced to Miss Penalosa, and it did not escape me that as my name was mentioned, she glanced across at Agatha. Wilson had evidently been talking. And presently, no doubt, thought I, she will inform me by occult means that I am engaged to a young lady with wheat ears in her hair. I wondered how much more Wilson had been telling her about me. Professor Gilroy is a terrible skeptic, said he. I hope, Miss Penalosa, that you will be able to convert him. She looked keenly up at me. Professor Gilroy is quite right to be skeptical if he has not yet seen anything convincing, said she. I should have thought, she added, that you would yourself have been an excellent subject. For what, may I ask, said I. Well, for mesmerism, for example. My experience has been that mesmerists go for their subjects to those who are mentally unsound. All their results are vitiated, as it seems to me, by the fact that they are dealing with abnormal organisms. Which of these ladies would you say possessed a normal organism? She asked. I should like you to select the one who seems to you to have the best balanced mind. Shall we say the girl in pink and white? Miss Agatha Martin, I think the name is. Yes, I should attach weight to any results from her. I've never tried how far she is impressionable. Of course, some people respond much more rapidly than others. May I ask how far your skepticism extends? I suppose that you admit the mesmeric sleep and the power of suggestion. I admit nothing, Miss Penalosa. Dear me, I thought science had got further than that. Of course, I know nothing about the scientific side of it. I only know what I can do. You see the girl in red, for example, over near the Japanese jar. I shall will that she comes across to us. She bent forward as she spoke and dropped her fan upon the floor. The girl whisked round and came straight towards us with an inquiring look upon her face, as if someone had called her. What do you think of that, Gilroy? Cried Wilson in a kind of ecstasy. I did not dare tell him what I thought of it. To me, it was the most barefaced, shameless piece of imposture that I had ever witnessed. The collusion and the signal had really been too obvious. Mr. Gilroy is... Professor Gilroy, pardon me, is not...
God forbid you forget him.
I know. Stature. He's not satisfied, said she, glancing up at me with her strange little eyes. My poor fan is to get the credit of that experiment. Well, we must try something else. Miss Martin, would you have any objection to me putting you off?
Turn you on.
Oh, I would love it, cried Agatha. And by this time, all the company had gathered round us in a circle, the shirt-fronted men and the white-throated women, some odd, some critical, as though it were something between a religious ceremony and a conjurer's entertainment. A red velvet armchair had been pushed into the center, and Agatha lay back in it, a little flushed and trembling slightly from excitement. I could see it in the vibration of the wheat ears. Miss Penalosa rose from her seat and stood over her, leaning upon her crutch. And there was a change in the woman. She no longer seemed small or insignificant. 20 years were gone from her age. Her eyes were shining, a tinge of color had come into her sallow cheeks, her whole figure had expanded. So I've seen a dull-eyed, listless lad, which doesn't make sense because it's a woman, change in an instant into briskness and life when given a task of which he felt himself master. Which is so true. People just be like, alright, I'm on my shit.
Yeah, for real. Just come to life. That's the difference between, something you just do because you have to and something that sets your soul on fire.
Absolutely. Like you said, it's like you become a whole new person.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody to be, like, revered.
For sure.
She looked down at Agatha with an expression which I resented from the bottom of my soul. The expression with which a Roman empress might have looked at her kneeling slave. Then, with a quick commanding gesture, she tossed up her arms and swept them slowly down in front of her. I was watching Agatha narrowly. During 3 passes, she seemed to be simply amused. At the 4th, I observed a slight glazing of the eyes, accompanied by some dilation of her pupils. At the 6th, there was momentary rigor. At the 7th, her eyelids began to droop. At the 10th, her eyes were closed, and her breathing was slower and fuller than usual. I tried, as I watched, to preserve my scientific calm, but a foolish, causeless agitation convulsed me. I trust that I hid it, but I felt as a child feels in the dark. I could not have believed that I was still open to such weakness. She is in a trance, said Miss Penalosa. She's sleeping, I cried. Well, wake her then. That's so sassy. I don't know why I read it like that.
Well, yeah, there's not even wake her. There's not even the word well. Well, hail, wake her then.
Wake her then, you son of a bitch. Okay. I pulled her by the arm and shouted in her ear. Oh! She might have been dead.
Give her like a wet willy.
For all the impression that I could make. Her body was there on the velvet chair. Her organs were acting, her heart, her lungs. But her soul, it had slipped from beyond our ken. Whither had it gone? What power has dispossessed it? I was puzzled. and disconcerted. "So much for the mesmeric sleep," said Miss Penalosa. She said, "Well, we can chalk that up to W."
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, that's Bandit.
Get him out of here.
Bandit, bro. You scared me.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's not cool, man. He does this, like, so many nights. That's how I wake up and just, like, because he literally pushes my door open. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Spooked me.
Yeah, not a fan.
About to get robbed.
Not a fan of that at nighttime. Nope.
Anyway. As a recalled suggestion, whatever I may suggest Miss Martin will infallibly do, whether it be now or after she has awakened from her trance. Do you demand proof of it? Certainly, and you will not come to regret that, I'm sure, said I. You shall have it. I saw a smile pass over her face. As though an amusing thought had struck her, she stopped and whispered earnestly into her subject's ear. Agatha, who had been so deaf to me, nodded her head as she listened. "Awake!" cried Miss Penalosa, with a sharp tap of her crutch upon the floor. The eyes opened, the glazing cleared slowly away, and the soul looked out once more after its strange eclipse. We went away early. Agatha was none the worse for her strange excursion, but I was nervous and unstrung, unable to listen to or answer the stream of comments which Wilson was pouring out for my benefit. As I bade her good night, Miss Penalosa slipped a piece of paper into my hand. "Pray forgive me," said she, "if I take means to overcome your skepticism. Open this note at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It is a little private test." I can't imagine what she means, but there is the note, and it shall be opened as she directs. My head is aching, and I have written enough for tonight. Tomorrow I dare say that what seems so inexplicable will take quite another complexion. I shall not surrender my convictions without a struggle.
Yeah, so I really only seen you read up to basically right to, or heard you read right up to where about we were to your like friends, and I had literally just taken a guess that it was about hypnosis. But give me a second, because this little bastard's kind of
Annoying you?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's the grand reveal. Ta-da! It is about hypnosis. And like I said, it's still a subject that, like, really hasn't been disproven by science, I guess. I mean, maybe. I don't know. If it has, I don't know about it. It definitely hasn't been proved, like, real, in my opinion, but I have seen a hypnosis show that was pretty convincing, but, like, I don't know if I buy into it.
Honestly, I actually have I have a thing on that.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say, personally, I don't think it's real. I just don't buy it. I think it's just for entertainment, and that's why I think it's fun. The way he describes it, like, with the soul being, like, put to sleep, it's really interesting. I tried one time to, in an effort to get this group of kids I was babysitting to relax, put them under hypnosis. Okay, so there was 7 children, and it was supposed to be bedtime in an hour, and I was like, what in the world am I gonna do to convince these guys to all lay down, close their eyes, and not say a word? Like, what in the world? What kind of activity? Like, maybe I could, like, do, like, meditation. I was like, nah, they're not gonna go for meditation. Hypnosis, though. They would definitely go for hypnosis. So they laid down. I did this whole thing where I was like, all right, imagine you're walking through the woods, there's sun on your face, and you see a lake, and then as you approach the lake, you think how nice it would be to step in the cool water. And I'll count down from 10, and as I do, imagine you are walking into the lake. 1, feel the water rise to your ankles, like stuff like that. And then at 10, I was like, and when I snap my fingers, you will do anything I say. And the kids, like, the older ones would, like, pretend to go along with it so that, like, the little kids would laugh about it and stuff. And then they got the idea that it was all just, like, a hoax. So then they were like, Michaela, let us put you under hypnosis. And I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it. What's the worst an 11-year-old could make me do? And it was just stuff like, Michaela, pick your nose. Like, stuff like that. And I was like, all right, fine, we'll just go for it. As I'm doing this, the parents get home. They're like, what in the world is going on? I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't expect you guys to be here. I was like, we were just getting ready for bed, blah, blah, blah. And then the kids were like, we're learning how to hypnotize Michaela. And the parents were pissed, dude. Like, they pulled me aside and they were like, why would you ever expose our children to something like that? Like, that, I'm so sorry, but that is not okay. Like, we will not be asking you to come back.
Who was this?
It was the Abbotts.
Oh, like right down the road?
Yes. And I was like, no, please, I really just thought it was
Talbots?
a joke. Like, I didn't mean, no, the Abbotts.
Oh.
Not the Talbots.
Oh, I don't remember the Abbotts.
Yeah, you didn't live with us on,
Oh, you're talking, this is the Arab drive house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was gone at that. Okay, I thought this was okay.
But they're pretty much the same vibe. Like, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
It's almost exactly the same vibe. And I just, like, groveled in the dirt and apologized. And then after that, they only let me watch, like, 2 of the kids.
Like at any time?
Yeah, so they had the 2 youngest kids. They homeschooled their kids, and the 2 youngest were, like, couldn't be homeschooled, so they just had me come while the other kids were in school to watch the 2 younger ones. But I was never, like, really alone after that with the children. So I guess hypnosis was a sensitive enough subject for them. They were like,
it sounds like they
no.
that something happened. Like,
I know, right?
He got hypnotized into cheating on her at some point or something, Like, and he went through with it. My senior year of high school graduation party.
Okay.
Our graduation party was, we went to the go-kart track by the airport, I want to say. Like,
that sounds fun.
So we went to the go-kart track, and then there was a hypnosis show. Like, there was a guy who, I don't know. I don't even remember his name. I don't even know if he was like a legit hypnotizer. I don't know. I have no clue.
What do you think? Like, first of all, tell me if you believe in it, yes or no, and then tell me if you think he was legit, yes or no.
Let me finish my story, and then I'll tell you my opinion on it. Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
We had all the group in this like kind of small room with the entire group of my senior class, which is really not that many. Wasn't that many people. He asked like me to come up and be part of the hypnosis group.
Oh.
Basically try hypnosis. And then like I agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily like say that like he lulled me into some kind of trance, like where I could have been convinced to do like literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it certainly wasn't like that like I don't know, it did like kind of lower my inhibitions to like do what he was like requesting of me, if that makes sense. Like
you weren't
if I recall correctly, one of the things was like basically dance around like a human butterfly.
Yeah.
So, like I'm a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah.
And like at any other given point in front of that like entire group of people, I would have not done such a thing as I did in that moment. So I wouldn't say necessarily felt like in a trance, more just like less inhibition. But I do believe that there's another form of like hypnosis and stuff that I think is more legit than this like performative, like when you wake up, you're going to eat 7 bowls of Reese's Puffs and
yeah.
I do think that like you can sit down and go into a meditative and like hypnosis type state and like with the intention to maybe specifically think about something or figure it out and be able to see it more clearly than you might if you weren't in that state.
Yeah.
Like relive like an experience or see something.
That's interesting you put it like that, because that's pretty much the basis for therapy with drugs, like
Yeah.
going on a drug trip. That's like
Yeah, got like a
The
guided
idea.
ayahuasca trip or.
yeah, like
Yep.
you meditate in peace
Mm-hmm.
to do introspection.
Yep. Exactly. I think you can do it without the drugs though.
Which is pretty much what praying is as well. Well, in my opinion, I can't. That's a hot take. Hot take.
You think praying is like a drug-free meditative experience?
Yeah, no, I think when you pray, you specifically like focus in on being reverent and like being respectful, right? Like you're putting yourself in a mind state of peace and sometimes seclusion and privacy to like focus on a specific subject, right? Whether that's expressing gratitude or like asking for clarity.
Mm.
And then you're like introspecting on and then addressing those feelings, and then that's how I think like you're getting some kind of like answer, and like you're saying your inhibitions are released, you're becoming more susceptible to like action, like you're just like things like that. I think that's similar to prayer as well.
Okay. So I kind of what I'm gathering from this is that like really any potential form of meditation in like with a purpose,
Yeah.
like basically just purposeful yeah, is that the word? Purposeful mindfulness, purposeful meditation, like intentionally calming yourself and your surroundings and like trying to just be at peace and think through or focus like intently on one thing and be receptive to the emotions and feelings and thoughts that come with it. Like I feel, I think that's kind of what it sounds like you're saying. Like prayer can be like that. I see. And I've constantly wondered about meditation. I've wondered about meditation, and I wouldn't consider myself like a super heavy practicer. I would consider myself kind of like dabbles in it here and there when I really feel like I need to think through something. Like I really need to focus on something. Like I will like close my eyes and just intentionally, put myself there. I am somebody who believes that visualization, like the difference between yourself visualizing something and then actively like actually doing it, your brain doesn't really necessarily know the difference. But I've been curious about it because I don't know. It's been around for so long. It's been around as far back as you can go. Meditation. I would say Western medicine is just like basically slaps the idea of it like out of you and says take these pills, you're gonna be fine. But like Eastern medicine and I don't know like philosophy and their views on psychology like is really more geared towards that, like meditation and self awareness and all that. So
yeah.
yeah.
Because people believe that, I mean, that there's scientific proof as well that your consciousness and the thoughts specifically that you have on a subject, whether they're focused or you find you can convince yourself like on a conscious level and subconsciously especially, have power over your health in your body, your like physiology. I mean that's why they claim like placebos work, right?
Yeah. Well, there's Dad always tells the story of like how they basically placeboed a kid in school that like he was sick. Basically, this kid was late to class, and so the teacher said that like, here's what we're gonna do is we're just like everybody at some point come up to this kid and like ask them if they look okay, like tell them they look sick, like just like ask them if they're doing okay and tell them they look sick. And
I'm scared of this.
Sure enough, by like halfway through the day, the kid was going home sick. He showed up totally fine, but wound up going home sick.
Yeah.
But it's true. I agree.
It's funny, like I'm realizing, so, like, there was, like, a couple times in high school, like, maybe 2 or 3 times where I convinced mom that I was sick just so I could stay home from school. And I always actually felt, like, so crappy by the end of the day. And I always thought it was just karma. Like, I didn't know. I was like, no, I'm probably just convinced myself I actually did feel kind of bad. So,
Yeah, like, the whole thing is like, okay, like, I'm convincing you that I don't feel well enough to go to school, and then you're just, like, ripping yourself a new one for not going because you really didn't feel that good.
yeah.
So now you actually don't feel good.
Yeah, it could be karma, too, you know.
It could be karma. It's a real thing.
For real.
What you put out into the universe.
I think so. It's interesting because, like, I feel like what you said on how you were just basically more susceptible instead
not
of
susceptible.
like less
Like
controlled but more open.
I would say it would have been like I had like 2 shots of tequila.
Okay.
Basically.
Just like more brave than you would have normally been.
Yeah, like
right?
not
like,
necessarily like I didn't know what was going on or
out of control. It makes me think that there might be different kinds of hypnosis.
Oh yeah. Well,
different kinds of psychic powers. Like his thing was maybe not to completely like put his will over yours, but just to make you seem, or maybe it was a power, like the level of how strong your willpower was, like you were only able to be influenced that much versus like be completely taken control of.
Yeah, I mean, because I did go into it with like this is like, you know, I'd seen it at the Puyallup Fair, like I'd done like enough to think that it kind of was like a gimmick. So it was like, I'll do it. You know, I'll follow the steps you asked me to do, which is like close my eyes and take deep breaths and fart 3 times. And, you know, like tap my big toe and then do a 360 on my head. I'll do that stuff. You know, that's fine. But you know, ultimately, I still feel like it would have been my decision whether or not I was going to do it anyway. Like at the end of it, still feel like it would have been my decision. So I felt it was kind of gimmicky. But I don't know. I would be curious to do something like because they have a couple different kinds. Like you're saying, they're like I've heard of like weight loss hypnosis. I've heard of like performance hypnosis, sports performance hypnosis. I've heard that there are different like avenues.
Yeah, people have sworn by it. You know.
For sure. So I'd at least be willing. Like I'd be willing to try. Just you know, I guess for the experience, if really anything. Whether it works or not, I'm not sure. I guess nothing is going to work if you do not believe that it is going to work. It will never work. Like if you truly don't believe that it's going to work in this world. That's how I see it. Like a drug, like marijuana. I can't really like you can't really smoke marijuana and go into it believing you're not going to get high. Like and then for some reason not get high. Does that make sense?
But you can take drugs like ecstasy and believe that it's not going to work and it ends up being like a dud. That's happened to people before.
Okay. So then it really is. It could just be a mind over like everything. So. Like if you go into hypnosis believing like, okay, like I believe in this. Like I think that this genuinely could help me, and like being willing to, I guess, submit to the process and give it your best effort, then you will probably have better results. You most likely have better results than if you go in there and just be like, this is a complete waste of time and don't know why I'm here.
I agree very much with anything, really.
With anything, yeah.
Especially with stuff like thinking you're gonna have fun versus thinking you're not gonna have fun. Doing stuff like that.
Convincing yourself that you're too sick to go to school versus yeah. Isn't it strange though? Like I would say the number of times I've convinced myself not to do something because I don't feel good enough to do it. I really wonder, like, what if I tried the opposite direction? What if, I just really spent time convincing myself that, like, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna be walking across the water as I cross the courtyard, like, I can't say I've really tried that, if I'm being real.
How about this? How about tonight, you and I, we both decide, you know what, tomorrow's gonna be a really good day.
Okay, so, like, how are we
See
gonna
if it makes any difference to us.
Like, we're just gonna, for, like, what, 10 minutes, just be telling each other, like, we're gonna have a great day tomorrow? Or, like, what do you...
Yeah.
Okay. Like, just put it out into the universe?
I think tomorrow we're gonna have a great day.
I think tomorrow is gonna be a great day.
It's gonna be a great day. Not just a good day.
It's gonna be
great.
Yeah, I think so too. I like that. I mean, a great day sounds pretty great, honestly.
I know, I would love to have a great day, dude.
It's been a while since I've had a great day. A great day, I think it's overdue at this point.
Yeah.
Especially with everything going on. I think we're gonna have a great day. We're gonna make it a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna wake up and I'm just gonna choose that it's gonna be great, I'm gonna choose it's gonna be great right now.
It's gonna be great.
It is.
Whatever we decide to eat for breakfast, it's gonna be great.
Eggs.
That's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
Eggs is gonna be great.
I know, we have like so many right now.
Whatever we do before Adley goes down for a nap, dude,
great.
It's gonna be great.
I think what I would really like to do is be discussing some more thoughts and ideas for this, which is I feel like this has been great, even though this was a surprise stream.
Glad you're having a good time. Do you want to get one more chapter in before we call it, or do you want to just keep going for it?
Well, Brady's probably gonna get home here.
Yeah.
In a couple minutes.
Alright, so one more chapter will probably be good.
Okay, I'll read it because I think it's my turn, right?
It is your turn.
We're on page 20 on March 25th, so that's quite a bit of reading, though. How about this? I'll go to page 22, because that seems to be like I guess the sentence right there at the end of page 22 seems to be like a good place to stop.
20, halfway down to 24. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Halfway down to 24.
March 25th. I am amazed, confounded. It is clear that I must reconsider my opinion upon this matter. But first, let me place on record what has occurred. I had finished breakfast and was looking over some diagrams with my lecture, which my lecture is to be illustrated, when my housekeeper entered to tell me that Agatha was in my study and wished to see me immediately. I glanced at the clock and saw with surprise that it was only 9:30. When I entered the room, she was standing on the hearth rug facing me. Something in her pose chilled me and checked the words which were rising to my lips. Her veil was half down, but I could see that she was pale and that her expression was constrained. "Austin," she said, "I have come to tell you that our engagement is at an end." I staggered. I believe that I literally did stagger. I know that I found myself leaning against the bookcase for support. But, I stammered, "this is very sudden, Agatha." "Yes, Austin, I have come here to tell you that our engagement is at an end." "But surely," I cried, "you will give me some reason. This is unlike you, Agatha. Tell me how I have been unfortunate enough to offend you." "It is all over, Austin." "But why? You must be under some delusion, Agatha. Perhaps you have been told some falsehood about me, or you may have misunderstood something that I have said to you. Only let me know what it is, and a word may set it all right. We must consider it all at an end. But you left me last night without a hint at any disagreement. What could have occurred in the interval to change you so? It must have been something that happened last night. You have been thinking it over, and you have disapproved of my conduct." Was it the mesmerism? Did you blame me for letting that woman exercise her power over you? You know that at the least sign I should have interfered. It is useless, Austin. All is over. Her voice was cold and measured, her manner strangely formal and hard. It seems to me that she was absolutely resolved not to be drawn into any argument or explanation. As for me, I was shaking with agitation, and I turned my face aside, so ashamed was I that she should see my want of control. You must know what this means to me, I cried. It is the blasting of all my hopes and the ruin of my life. You surely will not inflict such a punishment upon me unheard. You will let me know what is the matter. Consider how impossible it would be for me, under any circumstances, to treat you so. For God's sake, Agatha, let me know what I have done. She walked past me without a word and opened the door. It is quite useless, Austin, she said. Said she, you must consider our engagement at an end. An instant later, she was gone, and before I could recover myself sufficiently to follow her, I heard the hall door close behind her. I rushed into my room to change my coat, with the idea of hurrying round to Miss Marden's to learn from her what the cause of my misfortune might be. So shaken was I that I could hardly lace my boots. Never shall I forget those horrible 10 minutes. I had just pulled on my overcoat when the clock upon the mantel struck 10. 10! I associated the idea with Miss Penalosa's note. It was lying before me on the table, and I tore it open. It was scribbled in pencil in a peculiarly angular handwriting.
Perfect place.
All right. Well, whoever joins today, we really appreciate you. We're going to have to start titling our broadcasts, dude, because this says untitled broadcast, so we should probably...
Oh, dang. I don't even know how to do that.
Going forward. I mean, we're still new to this whole thing, but yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
this evening.
we really appreciate you being here. You know, you're what makes this the most fun aspect.
Yeah, not talking with you, that's for sure.
No, we don't even really like
they
reading
each
either.
other.
Like,
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, I mean, pretty impartial, really.
Yeah. So yeah, we would do this without you, but we're still glad you're here.
So who's that? Is this one of your friends?
I don't think I know this person.
Oh, well, hello. Hey, I'm happy you joined.
Happy to be your hero, more
yeah,
like.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm
for you.
only he here, yeah. So.
My bad.
And now I'm definitely gonna be walking on water.
I'm going to believe that was about me.
Oh, you know, say hey.
Yeah, placebo.
Exactly. Convince yourself that you're worthy.
Yeah.
Hey, really appreciate you guys joining. It's Gabe, and it's Gabe. Me and him are buddies. Oh, Gabe. Oh, what up, Gabe? Oh, hey, dude. Hey, I hope you're feeling good, man.
Same.
I really do. I'm sorry about what happened to you recently. That sounds like a bunch of crazy accidents.
Dang.
Yeah, dude.
All right, Gabe, get in the chat. Tell us your whole life story.
Yeah, no, he's
No, I'm just kidding.
he's a police officer. He got kind of injured. But hopefully, we can get you get out on the golf course or get together, do something soon.
Dang.
Would appreciate that, man. It'd be nice to spend some time with you.
Sounds like a good guy.
We played softball together back in the day.
Nice.
And you probably actually have seen him or met him, I would assume. Yeah, there you go. You can
Oh.
read that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound, that's way worse than I was imagining even, actually. Oof, fractured bones. Nope. Gabe's gonna have a great day tomorrow.
Yes, he's gonna have a great day tomorrow.
Gonna have a
Yes.
great day.
Well, all of us are.
Yep, we've decided.
Yeah, see? It's all in your mindset right there.
Man, yeah. I can't imagine a world where that doesn't suck, so.
My hip! My hip! Oh, is that starting? Is EDC starting?
Look at us, and we're here reading books.
We're reading books, and we could be at EDC popping pills and
On the weekend?
Annoying Gabe?
We're annoying.
I didn't even know what was going on right now.
Well, that's
It says
fair.
got like out of touch. It's day 2 right now. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I'm
fair, so,
going
yeah.
way out of
I mean,
touch.
I'm wearing shoulder pads, so that doesn't tell you what kind of person I am. It's probably not the person at EDC.
Do you get paid extra? Like, I would imagine
To wear
there's
shoulder
gotta
pads?
be like,
Yeah.
to wear shoulder
No.
pads. No, I was saying to work like events like that. I would have to assume there's got to be some incentive because most of the people out there are just geeked out of their mind on something.
The worst thing is that they assume that you get to see the show for free. That's the incentive. Like, it's not, the payoff is not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, unless
You
you
will
do-
see a show, though, and it's not
You're-
going to be from the performers.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the music. Yeah, exactly.
Alright.
The majority of okay. Hey. You know, I've never been to one, so I guess I don't really know.
He's a
But-
sweet dude. He also said the fractured hip was not that bad, so I don't know.
Yeah, where his tolerance level actually. Well, I appreciate you guys, Gabe. I'll reach out to you here in a little bit. But,
Yeah, thanks for popping in and saying hi.
for sure.
Alright, we will see you either tomorrow for a surprise stream or on Monday for our regularly scheduled reading. No spoilers on what that's going to be about yet, mainly because we haven't decided, but
No
it will
spoilers.
exist.
You can also watch all of our streams on our YouTube channel, which links on the page. So if you miss anything or wanted to hear anything else, I will be uploading the full video here in a little while. So
Thank you
Yep.
for turning a page with us.
thank you for scrolling a screen with us.
Alright, yeah, no, honestly, give us so much advice.
Yeah, dude,
please
please hit
give
me
us
up.
the feedback. We want it, we need it, we appreciate it.
For sure.
Alright.
All right.